Say welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of New York.
Yes, we did. It was a really fun episode.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Really had some dramatic moments, had some real intense moments, and then it had some dramatic intense moments.
Yeah, I feel like the title should be like, it was all going so well. And
right, until...
Because it was like, oh, it's going so well. Then, oh, it's going well again.
Oh, yeah.
It was a roller coaster.
And Erin just won't learn from pranks, will she?
So this one worked much better than taking Ubah's phone.
But it had such, especially because Ubah's the one who reacted negatively towards it, could have really backfired.
It really could have. She could have been like, what the hell? And,
Yeah, for sure. But anyway, I forget how the episode really started.
I thought they would pick up from like the fight, but they were like, let's go to tennis.
Oh, right. Tennis and not pickleball like you was.
Not pickleball. I mean, I know people who play tennis anymore and not pickleball.
You make it seem as though we're playing tennis all the time.
All the time. We have those rackets we never use.
Yeah. It was fun when we lived in the city and we had like try and go play, but never actually play. And if we did, it felt, if we get an open court, it just felt like, well, now we have to.
An accomplishment, yeah.
And we walk down the street here, like, we just have to stare at like some, teens and they'll move eventually, like, and they'll go.
There's like 4 courts over there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hate whenever we decide to go, there's like actual people who know how to play tennis there, and I just never feel.
I mean, it's getting colder. Well, not colder, but like not as warm. Maybe there'll be like, more free courts.
Yeah, maybe there will be.
I don't know.
Either way, we're still not going to play tennis. That's how that
Probably not.
So, they played tennis. And I guess in typical, especially Housewives of New York, they objectified the...
Always so horny in New York.
Yeah.
Always just like... And it's like weird because like it made sense for old New York, because...
That's called New Amsterdam.
Yes. Because they were all single, but like Erin's like, oh, I want to seduce the tennis player. Like, you got Abe the Babe at home. Like, calm down.
Maybe they have an open relationship when tennis instructors are involved. Maybe that's
Tino.
I don't know.
It was Tino, I think. Tino.
All I know is also the dude was like at least 20 years younger than her.
Yeah, it was I don't know,
probably 38.
Yeah. I think it wasn't 18. He looked like he was like early 20s.
Okay, maybe I'll give you early 20s. Either way, as to say, if I hit on a guy like that, that'd be gross.
It wouldn't be gross, no. If it was reciprocated or it wasn't not unwanted.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Sorry.
The name of the game wasn't his. The name of the game was like, let's ostracize Brynn.
Yes.
I don't like that game. I don't like when, even though I'm like feeling like whatever about Brynn, I don't like it when a housewife is islanded,
right? And
like when they purposely are not talking to her. It's like, and she never really did settle anything with Sai this episode. It was just like,
well, it didn't really settle anything with Ubah, it seems, either.
Yeah.
So
no, that wasn't good.
No. So
and then
yeah,
they went to the supermarket, like they're all gonna make dinner for Shabbat.
I thought that was really nice. All the dinner, and it's really different, I feel, from a lot of the other housewife shows where like they start to make dinner and then they get in a fight and dinner never gets finished.
Right.
Whereas this,
well, a lot of housewives don't really like. Someone will like. Can you imagine Beverly Hills with like Erica and Dree and Kyle and Garcelle in the kitchen together making their own dishes? It never would happen.
Honey, where's the peeler?
I didn't do that to
it. Yeah, I could not imagine that. I could not. So it was nice to see.
It was nice to see that. It was cute.
At the grocery store, it was fun when they played How Much Does This Cost? Because not only do they not know how much things cost, they just didn't really understand that things cost more at that store. That little like,
I want to say dinky, but it's like so expensive.
Right.
It's like, it's not really a supermarket. It's like, let's go to the market in Hamptons.
I feel like any sort of market, let alone an upscale market, like in a vacation town, is going to be charging higher prices.
Totally. But also too, it's like, where do you go to market in New York City? Like the bodega? Like, where do you get your eggs? Like, I should ask Ashley like where she went and where she lived in New York. Because there's no Ralph's. There won't be Ralph's or like Albertson.
Publix?
I don't know.
I don't know what the East Coast supermarket is, if there is.
Where do you go for like a normal grocery store experience?
I know when we're in New York, I see them and I just think I don't know, just go to the Dwayne Reed or whatever they are now.
Well, Dwayne Reed, that's more like a Walgreens. It doesn't really have. I don't think it has like.
No, but I mean, Walgreens has milk. I would get
But you're not gonna be able to like find
down the
eggs
street, why not?
or produce at Walgreens.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
have to Google something. But yeah, I certainly at a store like that, they're much more expensive.
Yeah, I liked the conversation about Jessel wanting to have another baby
Mhm.
and Papa not being into it, and the very pricey
Embryo storage.
fees, $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's $12,000 a year
Mm.
to store eggs, embryos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a per egg charge, and it just because they have 7 of them, that's what it costs.
Yeah.
But or is it just one blanket? I mean, really, they're renting the same amount of space.
I'm sure it's like one blanket thing. It's not like, oh my God, you're taking up so much room with these extra eggs.
Well, volume, you only freeze so much. But anyway, yeah,
I'm picturing like a carton, but it's wait.
no, it's not a carton at all.
And then the conversation about surrogacy, which I was like, that seems inflated.
Yeah, well, that's because we know what those costs are. I think, yeah. I mean, I don't know who she's picking as surrogates, but
Well, maybe she's talking about the whole. Well, yeah, it's true. If you're
I'm saying
choosing a
she
very
is-
experienced surrogate who could charge more, perhaps the fees can get up to $250. But like that, maybe she's also including like the transport and the
Mhm.
fertility clinic fees.
or she just has a friend who works for Hatch. Or the other. The quotes number she hears. Anyway, sorry. No, it was interesting, the whole idea of her doing surrogacy.
Yeah, and I like and Sai being like, I'll be your surrogate.
Yeah.
Give me $250K. I'll be your surrogate. I'll carry your babies.
She'd probably do it well.
Should.
And then the other intense thing we got was when,
Sorry, who
Oh.
do you want of this group to be your surrogate?
to carry my child.
Yeah.
I kind of want to say Brynn just for the fun of it. I think Erin seems to be the most.
I'd say Erin or Sai, because they've had kids,
Yeah.
multiple kids, and I think they'd be like really aware and cognizant of like, hearing someone's child and the enormity.
I think Erin would just be more laid back about it, though. I think Erin would be like all, wearing flip flops and like a sweatshirt and like, hey, what's up? Got your baby.
See, I like the Sai part of it, because she would be like very like strict, like,
Yeah, I don't
need
need
that.
No,
I need that.
need
I
that.
want someone who's going to take care of carrying my kid, to like be very
Yeah,
like.
that's why it's good. Erin would just be like, oh, baby's fine. Don't worry about it.
And Sai would be like, gotta take my vitamins now. Gotta take my like something juice.
Juice.
I'll say like kombucha. Is that a thing?
Kombucha? I don't know if you can drink that when you're pregnant.
That's alcohol.
No, kombucha is not alcohol.
What is that?
It's just some herbal thing.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
yuck. We don't drink tea really, so we really don't get into the,
Oh, right.
the iced tea
Right.
things.
Right.
It's really a tangent, and yet you went on.
It's popped in my head.
Popped in your head, and then what ultimately popped into your head was how Andy Cohen would go absolutely nuts.
Lose his mind if like if one housewife carried a baby for another housewife. Like they're both guaranteed a contract.
I mean, it would, I think, also be fascinating television
Oh, totally.
for at least a few seasons.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like now if one housewife donated the egg,
Oh, see, that's too close to comfort. You wouldn't do that, because that's like seeing your coworker raise your child. Your child.
right?
It has to be just like purely you're the carrier. You're not blood related to this baby.
What if they did that whole "it's going to be take a village" and they want an active life and they're no, I'm kidding.
No.
Let's move on.
Yes. You're gonna say I interrupted you.
I was just going to say, because you were kind of going down the kind of like the beat of the sensitive stories that we learned, and we learned that we learned about Racquel,
Right.
because Brynn asked her what her last name was, and we heard that whole entire story.
Very sad story.
Very sad, but it went on,
It did. It was a long story.
but very sad, indeed.
I didn't see that coming, to be that vulnerable in episode 3 for her first season.
Mhm.
I thought that was really nice that she opened up.
Yeah, no, it was very nice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, interesting to hear that they had to just sound like they had to go back quite a few generations before they found a last name that she wanted to use.
Right.
So kind of sad.
That's sad.
But no, interesting story from her. And then
Rebecca continues to have really weird stories that are not interesting, and I find her off-putting. I feel like you could have taken her out of this equation altogether and just have the 7 of them, and it would have been totally fine. I'm not saying I don't like her. I'm just saying I don't get why she's there. That's all.
I was about to segue into saying, and then, Becky's there. Becky's there with completely reasonable stories. None of them are strange at all.
Becky with the weird stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why she's there either, but we got her. And I think it's some weird stories. Like, I can't even really defend it. Like, some of the things she was saying, I was like, well, I could see me saying that. But at the same time, I was just like, not that. No, or that.
There's a lot going on of like, I'm a fashion designer. I'm a Scientologist. I'm also Jewish. I have all these kids, and I will breastfeed them until they can ask for it.
Yeah.
Just a lot, like, and her affect is so flat. It like, I don't, yeah, it's off-putting.
A lot of things she says, I'm like, is she being funny? Or is she, what's going on right now?
And then that weird confessional outfit with a thing on the thing. I was like, do you make that?
Yeah, she's definitely a character.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like if she just amped that up by like 4 or 5, she'd be like a more serious equivalent of Mary Cosby this season.
Oh.
Or just saying some random shit here and there where you're just like, did she just say that? What? But this is just the dry, flat, not funny Mary Cosby.
It is. Like, she doesn't know. I don't think she gets what she's doing. That's why it was so funny to see Brett her basically saying, like, you should have like said this to me. And Rebecca was like, that's not me. And she's like, we're not going to stick around if you don't, like, play the game.
But it was really interesting to see how different housewives, I hate to say it, because we started listening to Rachel and Cynthia's podcast this morning.
You mean Crystal and Cynthia?
Would I say Rachel?
Said Rachel.
I'm talking about, sorry. Crystal and Cynthia's podcast, where Crystal was saying that kind of about her first year was like, she's just polite. Like, she wasn't saying the things that she needed to say.
Right.
To really incite drama that those who've been there a while, know, or the ones who know how the game is played.
And she didn't have a voice because she would be like, I'm going to let you speak. And then they run over her and then they're like, cut, see, done, bye, let's go home.
Right.
And she wouldn't say anything.
But it's interesting, like, in a time where you think that the women to get on the show, like, play the game, to still see people come on who don't. And you know what? I think in the case of Rebecca, too many Minkoffs going on right now.
Yeah.
Sorry. That if she doesn't get asked back, I don't think she's going to mind all that much.
No.
Seems very nonplussed.
Yeah. I want to know why she decided to do the show because she doesn't need the job.
Right.
So, yeah.
It'd be interesting. But yeah, I mean, she's a little quirky. She's a little bit too quirky, but
like not quirky and interesting to me.
Yeah, uncomfortably quirky.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, she would sit down at our table and be like, okay.
Yeah.
This is veered in a different direction.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, it's only, the 3rd episode?
Yeah.
Fourth episode?
4th.
That, we could still have time and maybe she'll make something. But from what we understand from Sai, she does not.
No. But now I get what Sai was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. I keep looking for the women, but they're behind me.
Behind you. They made dinner.
Jenna made, what was the name of it?
The sex club?
No,
sex dungeon?
Not the dish that she made.
Oh, gosh.
Weird tart. But yeah, let's talk about the sex dungeon.
Faloba? Not Faloba. It was like, there's an F and it ended with an ova.
Meanwhile, the sex story was very, very unnerving as well.
And they were all just like,
The segue into the story was weird. And then, like, she kind of tried to get out of it, and people were letting her walk away from the story. And then she just went, okay, I'll tell you the story. Oh, okay.
And then there was a woman on a wheel.
Yeah. And she never really admitted to anything other than being there. And it was a very awkward conversation.
It was. Also, I didn't need a Never Have I Ever game at Shabbat. Like, you already have the prank coming up. Like, just have a conversation. I don't need to know, about like flashing cab drivers or
Hey, that's the kind of surrogate I want.
I stand by a Sai surrogate. You stand by an Erin surrogate.
Yes, that's our decision.
Potato.
Now, if you had to pick from any, age is not an issue.
Oh, that's too wide.
Personality based, but any franchise, which woman's going to carry your baby?
Geez, gosh. Yeah.
Shouldn't have asked you, huh?
Whitney.
Whitney? Really?
She'd probably be good.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Could go with Whitney.
Sounds good.
I just also kind of, no, I didn't turn to look, but like I was I was pointing towards.
I thought for sure you were going to say Teddy.
Well, no.
Here's why.
Well, no, because Teddy, like it's, she has had issues getting pregnant in the past.
Oh, okay.
And so I wouldn't want to put that stress on her. Like, Dove was a surprise.
That's so considerate of you in our hypothetical situation.
It did pop in my head, but then I was like, no, she's had 3 kids. She's done.
She's had enough of it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I don't know who I'd answer, and I refuse to answer that question. So,
well, screw you. I still stand by my Sai as my number one, but he's a good backup.
All right. Jenna's sex club, and then her thing, and then
the latex outfit, and then the whole cockroach thing. This made me laugh till I cried. It was so funny.
I wish we had footage of
that reaction. Like so visceral, and she had to throw up. And I love the camera's caught Sai like walking in like, Ubah, are you okay? And then like throwing up in Erin's sink, and they're all hearing this, and then they all go run, and like you got Brynn putting Ubah's hair back in a scrunchie so she can throw up unencumbered. She did. She's like, yeah, it was so. And then Sai explaining, like, so I came in and she was thrown up and it made me throw up. So funny. Like, that's classic Housewives. Just like hijinks. I loved it.
And then they recovered.
Yeah.
And it just generated into Ubah fake apologizing or fake accepting to Brynn.
Well, no, it was like the next day.
What's the next day?
It was next day.
Oh, the next morning. Right.
Morning. When Erin had...
Sorry, when they don't leave the house, it feels like all the same.
And I didn't know, I was like, is the trip over or are they continuing the trip? I didn't get it because they didn't seem... You don't really have like one last meal before you head out.
Right.
That was the thing. Erin should have been like, get out. We're on a good note. She like brought Ubah and Brynn together, and she like, everything's great. Get out of my house the next morning. Go be happy. Yeah. So
that conversation that happened off camera, that at least
was a conversation,
but at least it was corroborated by everyone involved. The conversation went as explained.
Yes, that's good. Normally, like there's different whatever, but Kitty, gosh, I understand where Brynn was coming from, and I think she can say it because she's a Black woman.
Mm-hmm.
She's another Black woman. I don't want you to come across as the angry Black woman. But I didn't think it at all. I was just like, it was just like passionate and
right.
And I didn't see herself being put in that in that box. But maybe Brynn was saying like they being production will put you in that box, and that will be the promo of you telling me to go F off. And then
which it was, but also now they're editing Brynn to be the angry Black woman.
No, she's the emotional Black woman.
Mm.
Like she was like, I'm not going to take this, but then I'm going to cry about it. And I understand that too. I that didn't pop in my head. That who was going to be cast in that role from that one fight. I think it was typical Housewives fight. If Erin had told Brynn to F off, she wouldn't be the angry white woman. But I also, it's different.
Right.
I understand that, obviously.
I mean,
I didn't see that, but I get where she's coming from. But Ubah was not having it or hearing it.
Well, because every time you tell Ubah what to not do, she gets mad.
Well, and
which understandably,
yeah. But also, like for Brynn to be like, "Well, screw it," like she's just dumb. It's like,
that wasn't
cool either.
That wasn't cool.
But
I mean, at the same time, Brynn just needs to mind her own damn business. Stop worrying about other people.
Right. Or just like have a conversation and move on from it and learn from it. But if she's still like, if they're like get to a good place, and then eventually they probably would have gone to a bad place because Brynn would have done something, and then Ubah was like, I don't trust you, But yeah, I'm just gonna add another point, but it flew out of my head.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you didn't interrupt. No. Oh, I liked that Ubah said, English is not my first language. And, I'm trying to basically she's like, I'm trying to get my thoughts across in English, and you interrupt me and it sidetracks me. And, I don't appreciate that. Let me have the conversation and get it out, and then you can talk. But then she didn't let Brynn talk. So, it was kind of a little bit, but
a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Again,
I like that she said that.
No, definitely good to get it out there. I think if Brynn, it's nice of her to worry about her friend, but, to quit trying to control everyone on the show. Let them do their own thing, whatever that is that they want to do.
Had her production hat on, her producer hat on, for sure.
Well, and I don't know if it's because she, thinks it will work better in her favor, to have them playing these other characters other than themselves, or it just goes to show that she's playing her own character.
It's that she's too aware, much like Jessel. She's too aware. And by the way, I thought it was really funny when Brynn got emotional and Jessel was like, stand up, go hug her. She's like, I don't need a hug. And she's like, okay.
No, I loved that.
Yeah.
I just don't need a goddamn hug.
I need a housewife hug right now.
Yeah, just sit down. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they were like, okay, we're done.
Well, then we were the sign is the trip over? And Aaron's like, yes.
Right. So I was like, are we taking the mic off? Are we done?
Right.
Cameras down.
That was a good trip though, overall.
It was a really good trip. It was really fun.
And yeah, I guess we learned a lot about everyone who Jessel didn't really have much. Well, I mean, I guess she had the conversation
about just in general having another kid.
And then having Pavitt, brainwash her son against her.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeps all day. How dare he?
That's rude.
So
rude. We got a lot of funny moments from Sai, but she didn't really
That's true.
Share us.
Sai was the underutilized housewife this week.
But it's so hilarious in both the market and the throwing up in the bathroom. just great. I think everyone really had a moment to shine.
Yeah, I think it was an overall really good New York Housewives.
It was.
So, till next time.
Till next time.